one match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
Good evening and welcome to Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com. It's a PlayOnSports.com pregame show live from Berkeley, California. I'm Joe Lawhead with Ben Taylor on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Tonight's matchup features the visiting Castro Valley Trojans against the host Berkeley Yellow Jackets. Castro Valley comes in tonight's game with an overall record of 5-4, while the home team, Berkeley, is 4-4. And Ben, it's a big game for both of these teams, going to decide the league championship.
Yeah, an absolutely huge game here in Berkeley. The Yellow Jackets coming in with a perfect 4-0 league record. Castro Valley with just one loss. So this is going to decide the league championship for the West Alameda County Foothill League.
And so we get set here for the opening kickoff between these two teams. We apologize for the lack of video. We had a technical issue that we are going to be servicing to get your video signal up and going. For the moment, we are going to go radio style. Castro Valley gets set to kick it off from our right to our left, wearing their white and gold. There's white shirt, gold pants as the short kick goes up and is fielded by the upman. And that is Jakari Simpson, who falls down at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, a bit of a pooch kick there for Castro Valley, and almost looked like an onside kick there, but not executed perfectly, and Berkeley starts out with some great field position.
Yeah, set from their own 43, right on the right hash mark. It'll be 1st and 10 to start this ball game. Only 3 seconds expired here, 11:57 left to play in the first quarter, as we see Lamont Smith and the Berkeley Yellow Jackets go to work here.
Yeah, Lamont Smith, the quarterback, a junior, standing 6'1", 185. One guy to keep an eye on. Akil Bordelon on the outside.
And getting set from under center on 1st and 10, 2 wide receivers at the top of the formation, one at the bottom before they send him in motion as Garcia to the bottom, and they pitch it to the right side, going to Xavier Cross, Malik Cross, I should say, who makes his way across the 45-yard line before getting knocked out of bounds. They mark him at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, just a basic sweep play there for the Yellow Jackets. Gets them a good first down gain, almost out to the 50-yard line.
So they'll be set up with a second down up here as they bring it up to the line.
Got to say, Joe, great crowd here tonight.
Yeah, lively crowd here. They get set 2nd and 5 from under center Lamont Smith. Taking the snap, dropping back, faking the handoff to Cross. Now feeling pressure, rolling to his left, and he's going to be brought down behind his own 40-yard line for a sack.
Great tackle in the backfield there by a captain for Castro Valley, Trevor Trammell, coming around the outside. A senior, 6'1", 245 pounds, wraps up the quarterback for Berkeley.
And we also saw Andrew Vonderheide get on in the action there as they bump him back now. A 3rd and 13 facing this team here. Set from their own 40-yard lines where they spotted it.
Huge loss there. 8-yard loss there on second down.
It's the clock moving towards 11 minutes left to play here in the first quarter. Still no score on this first possession here from Berkeley, California. Lamont Smith getting set. 3 receivers at the bottom of the formation, 1 at the top. And I formation towards the weak side. Taking the shotgun snap, a correction, not the I formation. Smith rolls his right, fires, it's complete to his receiver on the right side. It's Akil Bordelon who gets up at the 47-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds. 4th down upcoming.
Very good knowledge there by the Trojans, understanding where that first down marker is, knowing where Bordelon's looking to go, and stopping him about 5 yards short.
So we'll see our first punt of the evening coming from Berkeley. Samuel Boyding getting set to kick it away. Back deep to receive Patrick Cheek for Castro Valley. Back him towards his own 20-yard line. Here's a kick under pressure, a good kick. Back towards the 20. Cheek going to wave it off and let it go. It takes a bit of a Berkeley bounce as it rolls towards the 10-yard line and finally dies just inside the 10-yard line and is finally picked up by a Berkeley player.
You know, Felipe Martinez there for Castro Valley nearly came in and blocked that punt from Sam Boyden. Boyden very fortunate to get that kick away.
So with 10:06 left to play in the first quarter, no score. We see Castro Valley get set to go to work from deep in their own territory. Ball spot at their own 9-yard line. As a late substitution coming in for Castro Valley. Castro Valley gets set. Tie formation, one receiver to the bottom of it. They get the quick handoff to Patrick Cheek. Hit as he crossed the line of scrimmage and fought ahead for a yard gain.
Tough sledding there on the first down play for Castro Valley. They have a pretty balanced attack.
So they get set. It will be a 2nd down and 8, so officially a 2-yard gain. Clock moving under 9:45 left to play. Still no scores. This is the first possession for Castro Valley. After the Berkeley punt, they get set. They have one receiver down to the bottom of the formation, taking the handoff. Huerta hands it out to Patrick Cheek again, following his blockers to the right side. Had a good seam, and he's able to pick up about 5 yards on the play.
You know, not able to get the first down was Cheek there, but a very nice job following his offensive line, and now it's a 3rd and short situation.
Yeah, 3rd down and 3 coming up here. Very manageable here for the offense, especially with the type of balance they have. A playbook opens up as they're pushing 9 minutes left to play in the first quarter. No score. They get set with 2 receivers towards the bottom of the formation. Taking the handoff, Huerta handing it off to his back towards the right side.
Doesn't look like he got it.
Yeah, it looks like he was a bit short. As the ball carrier again was Patrick Cheek. And yes, he only got about a yard, setting up a 4th down and 2.
And, you know, I was saying that the Trojans have a balanced attack, but if they do favor one thing over another, they do tend to rush the ball a little bit more than they pass, and we saw that there on those first 3 plays. Unfortunately, didn't net a first down.
So Kevin Galvin gets a 6 set to kick it away from his own 5-yard line here on 4th down and 2. Akeem Bordelon back at the 50 to receive. Good protection as a kick by Galvin. Not a great one, but does get up to this own 45-yard line. Bordelon being pulled by his jersey, but still gets away from the defender. Now going back towards the left side. Following his blockers, flag comes in on the play as Bordelon still on his feet across the 40 and is finally brought down to the 35-yard line, but we'll see what the penalty marker's about.
Nice. Dancing and swerving and trying to find some room. And if this flag is not against Berkeley, then the Yellow Jackets are going to have great field position as the result of Bordelon's efforts, but I fear that Berkeley's going to be moved back here at least 10 yards.
Yeah, it's a typical play that gets called for a hold in this situation.
Well, when you see a guy break free like that and wiggle around.
And actually, we saw a dead ball personal foul.
Very interesting, considering that when the flag was thrown, the play was still happening. So I don't know how that could have been a dead ball penalty.
Yeah, odd call here on the field. I only saw one flag come out, and it would not be a dead ball penalty. Regardless, the penalty moves it back to their own 42-yard line. Ball spot on the left hash mark, so it'll be 1st and 10. Still decent field position, but a 15-yard loss due to the apparent dead ball penalty. 2 receivers set to the top of the formation, 1 towards the bottom. Under center's Lamont Smith with a single back, firing to his right side. It's complete to Marquise Garcia at the 40. Spins and has the ball knocked loose. It's picked up by a defender, going down the left sideline to the 30, and finally brought down around the 25-yard line. For Castro Valley was Ben Atkinson, who dove all over the ball.
Yeah, Ben Atkinson right there, and he didn't even have to go to the turf to pick that one up. Ball squirted away, popped right up off the turf to Atkinson, and now Castro Valley in business.
So the Garcia fumble gives great field position, set at the 25-yard line of Berkeley. And Trojans with an opportunity here to try to get 6.
And 2 straight times, Berkeley really squandering great starting field position.
7:53 left to play in the first quarter. Still no score from under center. Huerta going to hand it off towards the left side. It's Lang, has some blockers, juking inside across the 10, and finally brought down. Demario Lane got just shy of the 5-yard line.
Boy, and there Demario Lane chose to go to the outside, and you can't argue with the result, but if he had cut back inside towards the center of the field, I think he would have danced in for 6.
So clock stopped temporarily with the moving of the chains. Now they get it moving under 7 minutes and 45 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. No score for either team. Castro Valley knocking on the door as they get set from the 7-yard line. On 1st and goal, Huerta from under center. 2 receivers at the top of the formation. Hands it off to Patrick Cheek as he works through the middle up towards the 5-yard line, and he might just barely cross the 5. No, they're going to stop his forward momentum right at the 5-yard line. 2-yard gain on the play.
Nice job of just talking to the football there by the Yellow Jackets. Stopping the man for just a short gain. They need a couple more of those stops.
Clock moving under 7 minutes and 10 seconds left here in the first quarter. Second possession for Castro Valley, this coming by way of the fumble. From under center, Huerta taking the snap, hands it off to the left side as Lane again, following his blockers, diving forward towards the end zone. He's in for the score. 5-yard touchdown for Demaria Lane. Castro Valley's first on the board.
Well, and that time Lane did cut back to the inside, and that was a pretty easy score. He did get touched around the one and had to dive in for the score, but Castro Valley doing what good teams do, and that is take advantage of turnovers.
Yeah, big opportunity there that they cash in at 6-0 now with 6 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. As Galvin set to kick the extra point, where to the holder. Taking a snap, pressure coming from Berkeley, and Galvin gets a low line drive. No good, wide left.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the problem was there, but not a very good kick at all. Looked like the snap was down fine, but the kick didn't get off the turf at all.
So Galvin maybe felt the pressure from Berkeley coming up as he got that kickoff in a bit of a hurry. And I assume that would be the only thing that would cause him to miss that kick.
Big score, though, by Castro Valley, getting the first points on the board in this huge game away from home here in Berkeley with a pretty lively Yellow Jackets crowd that is yet to get into it.
Yeah, and you know, Berkeley, not a high-scoring team. They haven't scored more than 17 points this season, so really not something they favor. They tend to go towards more of the defensive matchup, getting just enough points to eke out the victory and try to shut the other team down. So a deficit, not a good thing for this team to face right here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Berkeley coming in 4 straight wins. They started the year 0-4. They're now 4-4, but Castro Valley also riding a winning streak. They've won 2 in a row.
As we get set here, Galvin going to be kicking it away from our right to our left for Castro Valley. Garcia and Bordelon back to receive, and again it's another short kick going back and receiving the ball right at his own 42-yard line was Jakari Simpson. Simpson caught it and just laid down right at the 42. So again, Castro Valley in what seems to be an avoidance of the return team of Garcia and Bordelon going for just the kind of basic onside kick.
Well, and it certainly is a basic onside kick, but it's giving the Yellow Jackets great starting field position. At some point, this might backfire.
So now their third drive begins. Second drive ended with the fumble. Lamont Smith with a single receiver to the bottom of the formation. I formation behind him, hands it off, and working towards the right side and getting a gain of about a yard was his back, and that was Doug Stewart.
Not very much running room there for Stewart at all. He got hit by the linebacking core of the Trojans and was basically stopped in his tracks.
So clock moving under 6.5 minutes left to play here in the first quarter. 2nd down and 8 set from their own 45-yard line for the Berkeley Yellow Jackets. Lamont Smith comes out of the huddle, set with 2 receivers to the bottom of the formation, 1 at the top, and I formation set behind him. Now whistle coming from the sideline, and a timeout is going to be taken by Berkeley, their first, with 6:10 left to play here in the first quarter. 6-0 your score.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you were enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Getting back to the action with 6:10 left to play in the first quarter. 6-0. Castro Valley capitalized off the Marquise Garcia fumble, and Demaria Lane was able to rush in for the 5-yard score. Extra point by Galvin was no good, leaving us with our 6-0 score here.
Really have yet to see the Yellow Jackets get their offense rolling at all. And this now their third possession, and we're not even 6 minutes into the first quarter.
Yeah, a punt, a fumble, and now the second play of this third drive. Again, they go 2 wide receivers to the bottom of the formation, 1 at the top, ball in the right hash mark at their own 45-yard line. Backs in the I formation. And a fumble snap by Lamont Smith, trying to crawl back to it, and it looks like he might have just got it and actually got a yard gain out of the play.
Very fortunate there was Smith, as that ball was laying naked on the ground, and the Castro Valley defensive line didn't realize what was at their feet.
Yeah, surprising as the ball squirted away from him for just a moment. You thought that would have favored the Trojans being able to gain possession there and have their second turnover forced. Now clock moving under 5 minutes and 35 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. 3rd down and 7 from their own 46-yard line for the Berkeley Yellow Jackets. Set with 2 receivers at the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. I formation again behind Lamont Smith, set under center. Taking the snap, dropping back, fakes a handoff as he rolls out to his left. Looking, now he fires to his left. It's complete to his receiver. It's Hiram Hairston, who just got up about 3 yards shy of the first down marker before he got knocked out near the left sideline.
You know, even though that play didn't result in a first down, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit more of Lamont Smith moving with the football, moving out of the pocket. He looked really comfortable rolling out to his left there and put the pass right where it needed to be. Unfortunately, it was 3 yards short of the first down.
Now see Samuel Boykin set to punt it away, setting at his own 35-yard line. And you have Patrick Cheek back deep to receive as he moves just inside his own 15. Under pressure again, and the kick is up. Again, it's going to be waved off by Cheek as it bounces on the 20. Takes a great Berkeley bounce, rolling now towards the end zone. Berkeley players dive, and they were not able to save it from going over the goal line. So it'll start at the 20 for Castro Valley.
You know, and you wonder a little bit if this slow start has anything to do with the senior night festivities for Berkeley that took so long prior to this game. And we didn't have a chance to talk about it because we hopped right on air here, but it was about 35 minutes that the senior night festivities took place, and it seemed like the seniors were having a good old time out there at the 50-yard line, enjoying what was going on at senior night, and the coaches actually had to go out there and hustle them back off the field. So maybe just a first quarter here that the Yellow Jackets need to wake up.
So Huerta quickly handing off on first down and 10 from his own 20. Cheek went up the middle and pushed ahead for a 4-yard gain.
You know, and that idea might sound silly to some people, but you got to remember these are just high school players.
As you wonder if anybody got cold standing around as well.
Yep.
They get set. 2nd down and 6 from their own 24. 4 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Castro Valley trying to extend its 6-0 lead as Huerta set from under center. Taking the handoff. Hands it off. Up the middle, it's Patrick Cheek. And he got across the 25 for about maybe a half-yard gain.
Jakari Simpson in on the tackle there for the Yellow Jackets. Coming in from safety to make that tackle.
So now clock moving towards 3.5 minutes left to play here in the first quarter. 3rd down and 5 from their own 25-yard line from Castro Valley. They send Wynn one man up wide. Up top, and they hand it off towards the left. It's Demario Lane going towards the left under a lot of pressure from the Yellow Jackets, and he just barely got back to the line of scrimmage.
You know, and Marlon Walker, the linebacker, isn't going to get credit for a tackle there, but he was the man who made initial contact and made Lane change direction away from the sideline into the rest of the Berkeley D. So a nice 3-and-out forced by the Yellow Jackets.
So we'll now see Galvin set to punt it away, set from his own 12-yard line, kicking to Bordelon, who's set at his own 45-yard line. 4th down and 4 snap, and the punt's away. It's a high one. Bordelon looks like he might be able to return this one. He gets it from his own 45. Goes towards the right sideline across the 50. Now jukes a man and gets hit from behind as he fell forward to the 40-yard line in Castro Valley.
That looked real close to an incidental face mask at the very least, but no flag was thrown. Bordelon comes up asking the line judge where the flag was. The line judge just nodded his head, so I don't know if that was an agreement with Bordelon and he just missed it or what. But great field position. Again, this is the best starting field position Berkeley has had, and this is now their 4th possession.
As they get set from the Castro Valley 40, 2:35 remaining here in the first quarter. 6-0 Berkeley trails Castro Valley. From under center, the handoff goes to the left side. It's Doug Stewart breaking one tackle, breaks an arm tackle at the 30, now down the 20, tripped up from behind as he crossed the 15-yard line. and they mark him down just shy of the 10.
Boy, a touchdown saving tackle there by Trevor Trammell. The linebacker catching up with Stewart. If Trammell doesn't get there, it's a touchdown, and we're all knotted up at 6 pending the extra point.
But with it, it's a first down and 10. They're going to say just barely inside the 10-yard line with the spot. So a first and goal with 10 yards to go. Clock moving towards 2:20 left to play in the first quarter. Berkeley trying to even it up and maybe take a 1-point lead, and a bad false start committed by the upman, or one of the offensive linemen.
That was number 55, it looks like, Khalil Snowden, who jumped.
And correction, actually Ashton Smith.
Pardon me.
As set with first and 15 from the 15-yard line is actually a first and goal here for Berkeley as they hand off towards the right side. And working down the right sideline was a halfback, or right hash mark, and nowhere to go as his forward progress was stopped, as in ball carrier was Hiram Harrison. And it looks like he got up to the 11-yard line. Clock moving under a minute 45 left to play here in the first quarter. Second down and goal from the 11-yard line for the Yellow Jackets. They send one receiver to the top of the formation. 2 tight ends in, and I formation is behind Lamont Smith. Taking the snap and whistles, and a flag comes in before the snap. And false start will march it back again.
And I actually think that was one of the men in the backfield for the Yellow Jackets. I think it might have been the fullback, Michael Lazarus, who was set up right behind Lamont Smith.
Now the penalty puts him all the way back to the 16-yard line. So after a great field position and a great run, Berkeley has twice committed offensive penalties. Now set with a second and goal from the 16-yard line. 3 receivers bunched to the bottom of the formation. Ball spot on the right hash mark. From the shotgun, Lamont Smith dropping back. Good protection. Sets his feet, fires towards the right side. Into cover, double coverage as it's tipped away, incomplete, broken up by Luke Morrow.
Luke Morrow nearly had an interception on the goal line there. Not a very good decision by Lamont Smith throwing into double coverage.
So it sets up a third down and goal from the 16-yard line.
Smith was looking for Bordelon there, and Bordelon, of course, Smith's primary target. But when a man's double covered, a man's double covered.
So they get set now. It's a bunch wide receivers up to the top of the formation, 3 of them with Lamont Smith under center. Faking the handoff to Malik Cross as he rolls out to the right. Smith looking downfield. Now he's going to tuck in and run near the 10-yard line, and he is hit and brought down right at the 10.
Yeah, Demaria Lane able to take down Lamont Smith. And it looks like the Yellow Jackets are going to have to settle for a field goal here. And they can't be happy with that, with the starting field position they had and that great run from Stewart.
Yeah, penalty shooting him in the foot, but now Samuel Boykins try to cut it to just a 3-point deficit. Here's a snap. The hold is down. Kick is up under pressure, and Boykins hooks it, and it goes wide left.
Boy, Samuel Boyden got nailed after the kick, and the Berkeley sideline screaming for a penalty. They aren't going to get one, and everything looks good there. Snap was good. Hold was good. Boyden just pulled it. Looked like he might have tucked it inside the left upright from where we are standing, but evidently it missed wide left.
So with 13 seconds remaining in the first quarter, it'll be 1st and 10 for Castro Valley from their own 20-yard line. With a 6-0 lead, Luke Huerta goes to work. Split wide receivers and split backs behind him as Huerta fakes a handoff to Demaria Lane, rolling out to his right. Now he's going to fire to his right. Has a man. It's Luke Morrow who drops the ball at the 45-yard line.
Oh, and Luke Morrow was gone. He was wide open at the 50-yard line. If he catches that, he goes 50 yards for a touchdown, and the Trojans have a 2-touchdown lead.
Yeah, certainly would have been setting themselves up to go for 2 and make it a 14-point lead as Morrow, as you said, just plenty of green in front of him. He probably just turned his head to make the big play without bringing the ball in.
Forgot the most important part of that play, which was catching the football.
So 2nd down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. 6 seconds remain, so this will be the last play of the first quarter potentially. Huerta's set with 2 receivers at the bottom of the formation. Now sends a man in motion and gives a quick handoff up the middle as Patrick Cheek trying to fight forward. And finally his momentum is stopped by the Berkeley defense as he got up to the 23-yard line. And we reach the end of the first quarter. 6-0. The Trojans of Castro Valley lead over the hometown Berkeley Yellow Jackets.
PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
So now we switch sides. Castro Valley will now be going from our left to our right. Cool 63 degrees at kickoff time. Clear skies, a little bit of a mist around the lights here, but otherwise a very clear and cool night.
Berkeley's got to find a spark here, Joe. They are not playing inspired football here through one quarter, and they got to be careful because Castro Valley, I get the feeling, is starting to get a bit of a rhythm.
And here's where they can try to establish it. They're going to be set here. It's a 3rd down and 7 here. And now whistles coming from the sideline as the marker on the left side said 1st down. Now they get it to 3rd. Huerta set from under center, taking the snap, hands off to Patrick Cheek, hit immediately behind the left guard, and he just barely crossed the line of scrimmage.
And that might be the big play the Yellow Jackets need. Interesting play call, I think, by Castro Valley, just going with the inside handoff, needing a 7-yard gain. They haven't been doing a whole lot with Cheek running the football. Lamario Lane's the only man who's really been able to break through the initial front.
Now we'll see a punt coming here on 4th down and 6. Galvin set to punt it away. He's at his own 10-yard line. Bordelon just inside the 50 on his side of the field. Here's a snap. Galvin with good protection gets a good kick off. Bordelon back from his own 48, fills it in the middle of the field, working towards the middle, breaks through some tacklers, jukes back towards the right as he's brought down right around the 35-yard line in Castro Valley territory. Still on his feet, actually, and finally the scrum brings him down to the 31-yard line right at the right hash mark.
Yeah, a few Berkeley players came in and started pushing that pile forward. And now if you're Berkeley, you got to find a way to take advantage of this.
Yeah, again, great field position for the Yellow Jackets. They haven't been able to do anything with it as they trail 6-0 to the Castro Valley Trojans with 11:28 left to play here in the second quarter. But now set at the 31-yard line of the Trojans, and Berkeley with a chance to capitalize.
You know, and very clearly Castro Valley is wary of Akil Bordelon.
As he had the big return there. Now they get set. 1st and 10, I formation behind Lamont Smith as he hands it off up the middle. It's Malik Cross pushing through the center of the line and still on his feet. The ball came loose, but they said that he was already down after about a 5-yard gain on the play.
Yellow Jackets got to worry about ball security a little bit. They've only lost 1 fumble, but that was a near fumble there, and Lamont Smith fumbled on their last possession.
So now they get set with a 2nd down and 5. Ball spotted at the Castro Valley 26-yard line. Smith sending 2 receivers to the bottom of the formation, 1 at the top. I formation from behind Smith as he set under center. Dropping back, feeling pressure, he quickly fires to the left side. Ball's complete to Marquise Garcia, crossing the 20 and up to the 15-yard line. And a 1st down for the Yellow Jackets.
Very nice out route there by Marquise Garcia. Nice cut. Came back to the football and a good gain for first down. And now Berkeley's in the red zone.
Set at the Castro Valley 16-yard line. Berkeley set from the left hash mark. Two receivers at the bottom of the formation, one at the top. I formation behind Lamont Smith as he set under center again. Taking the snap, Smith dropping back. A delayed handoff, working towards the left side. Is it back Akil Bordelon as he crossed the 15-yard line before being hit by a swarm of Trojans.
Yeah, interesting to see Bordelon line up in the backfield there. He looked to dance his way around the defensive line, but couldn't find any holes. And now it's 2nd and long for Berkeley.
Well, they try to move Bordelon around, try to find positions for him to capitalize on his speed and agility. So we saw him from the backfield there. Now they get set, two receivers at the top of the formation, one at the bottom. Again, an I formation behind Smith under center. Faking the handout to Bordelon. Now Smith rolling to the right. From the 20-yard line, he fires and throws to the right side. It's complete, and going out of bounds was his receiver, Xavier Nelson.
I tell you, Lamont Smith looks more comfortable rolling out to his left and right than he does just sitting there in the pocket. That was a great pass to the sideline, and it's 1st and goal from the 2.
And a great opportunity now for the Berkeley Yellow Jackets, trailing by 6 with 9:53 left to play here in the first half. Berkeley brings it up the line here on 1st and goal. Split wide receivers and an I formation behind Lamont Smith as he set under center. Taking the snap, he hands it off the right side, diving through and into the end zone to Stewart for the touchdown.
Just a simple play there for the Yellow Jackets, and they're right back in this one. Again, great starting field position. I guess 4th time's the charm here tonight for Berkeley.
And so now a very important, at least in this point in the ball game, extra point coming up here for Samuel Boykins. Remember, Boykins missed the field goal wide left on the last possession. Here's a snap. Boykins' kick is up, and he drills this one wide left again.
Wow. He got all of that football, but again pulled it.
Yep.
He's got to make some adjustments here, either on the sideline or at halftime.
Yeah, he drilled that one. Probably would have been good from 30 or 40 out, but he just nailed it wide left. So we're tied up at 6 with 9:49 left to play here in the first half. Berkeley able to capitalize after the great punt return. And now we'll be kicking off to defend Castro Valley.
So for the first time in this game, we get to see how Castro Valley is able or unable to counterpunch a move by the Yellow Jackets. Because for the majority of the first half, it had been Castro Valley really controlling the football game. But now, it's essentially 0-0 again.
As we say, Boykins gets set to kick it off from our right to our left. Cheek back to receive, along with Robert Taylor. Boykins set now as he kicks this one away. It's a deep one going back towards the end zone and an automatic touchback.
Boy, Samuel Boyden clearly has the leg. That was a booming kick.
Yeah, definitely impressive, especially at the high school level, to see it hit the back of the end zone on that kickoff. So certainly something that maybe could come into play later in the ball game is the range of Samuel Boykins.
Well, yeah, and Boyden clearly respected by the rest of his team. You don't normally see a place kicker and a punter named a captain, but the 5'11" senior is just that.
So set from under center, Huerta handing off towards the right side, and juking back inside is Patrick Cheek as he crossed the 20-yard line up ahead to the 22. And appreciate the correction. It is Samuel Boyden, not Boykins.
Earl Boykins did play basketball for the California Golden Bears, however, so
I don't think that's what messed me up.
that's all right. Trying to bail you out a little bit.
A 3-yard gain on the play for Patrick Cheek. Sets up a 2nd down and 7 from his own 23-yard line. Castro Valley comes out. Set with 2 receivers at the top of the formation. Split backs behind Huerta as he hands it off and working towards the left side. Demaria Lane hits through 1 tackler, still on his feet as he's being pulled from behind by his ankle. And he got up to the 28-yard line.
You know, and Castro Valley just seems very content to run the football on 1st and 2nd down. Just see how far they can get with the run, and then if they have to on 3rd down, maybe attempt a pass. But it's 3rd and we'll call it a long 2 here, so they could theoretically run the football for a 1st down yet again.
It's clock moving under 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in the first half. All knotted up at 6 here, and a 3rd down and 3 or a long 2. As Huerta set from under center, had split backs, but now sends a man in motion, hands it off towards the right side. It's Lane juking back in towards the left, falling forward, and his momentum is able to get him 2 yards past the 1st down marker.
You know, and right there, the Yellow Jackets got into the backfield, but they over-pursued the football, and when they came back to tackle Demaria Lane, they pushed him across the 1st down marker.
So clock moving under 8 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first half. It's a 1st down and 10 from their own 33-yard line. Castro Valley with 3 receivers, 2 at the top, 1 to the bottom. They hand it off towards the left side. It's Alfaro taking the handoff, working across the 25-yard line before he's finally brought down around the 26.
That was nearly a horse collar on the Yellow Jackets there. May have gotten away with one on the tackle of Nick Alfaro.
And Alfaro lost his helmet on the play. And we'll head back towards the sideline. So a 2nd down and 6 coming up here for Castro Valley. Set from their own 37-yard line, they send 2 receivers to the bottom of the formation. Split backs behind Huerta as he fakes a handoff. Dropping back, he fires the right side lane, able to pick it up from off his knee. Now working across the 40. Down the left hash mark, he gets to the 45-yard line and is finally brought down right around the 48.
And a nice play call there by the Trojans, getting Lane the football in space. And he showcased his skill set there. Made a couple of Yellow Jackets miss. And the Trojans are almost into Berkeley territory.
Set with a 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. Ball spotted on the right hash mark. As Huerta getting the call in and running it back in from the sideline. Now the Trojans set up. 2 receivers up to the top of the formation. 1 in tight towards the bottom. They send a man in motion, fake the handoff. Huerta feeling pressure, breaks 1 tackle, fires to the left side. It's complete to Patrick Cheek at the 50, going down the left sideline, tripped up, and he's going to be marked just a yard shy of the 1st down marker.
Boy, again, the Yellow Jackets had men in the backfield, but Huerta got rid of that football just in time to dump it off to Cheek. And Cheek was sniffing that 1st down marker, but couldn't quite turn the corner in bounds.
So now set at the Berkeley 43-yard line. Castro Valley here, 2nd down and a very short 1. 2 receivers at the bottom of the formation. Huerta taking the snap, hands off to Demaria Lane, works towards the left side, has a 1st down towards the left sideline before he jukes back inside and is finally brought down just shy of the 35-yard line of Berkeley.
You know, and Lane got inside the 40 and then did a nice little bunny hop over an outstretched Yellow Jacket arm. Able to gain a couple of extra yards there. And this is really the first time we've seen a prolonged drive in the first half from either of these teams.
As coming up on 6.5 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Still tied up at 6. 2 receivers at the bottom of the formation. Huerta rolling out to his right. Arcs one over. Demaria Lane catches it right at the 40. Slips when he went towards the right side. And he's down just shy of the 30. And Lane may have hurt himself.
And that would be tragic for Castro Valley as Lane fell very awkwardly.
Clock stops now with 6:16 remaining here in the first half. And a bit of moisture, a bit of mist in the air. You wonder if any of that made it down to the field level. This is field turf that they're playing on. For those of us listening live, of course, we apologize for the technical difficulties. We do not have video. Those of you watching this on delay on YouTube will be able to see all this, what we're talking about. It's laying down in his own 30-yard line.
And it looks like they're working on either his right or left ankle. It's his right ankle that they appear to be stretching out.
Actually, it might be his left, actually, looking in close here.
Oh, pardon me. From our angle, it's his right ankle, but it's actually his left, correct.
Yeah. And so laying at the Berkeley 30-yard line, we wait to see if Demario Lane will be okay.
Well, and really all Lane tried to do there was stop and get back inside. And his legs just gave out.
Yeah.
And you never like to see that on the football field.
Yeah, hard to see with the benefit of replay. From up here, of course, we're up near the press box. It seemed like he might have slipped more than anything watching it live.
But there are about 6, maybe now 10 people around Demario Lane. Some more on the periphery than others, but so far, Lane hasn't moved from the 30-yard line.
So I certainly hope Demario Lane is okay.
Does give me time to talk about that PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com, high school sports, lives here. And, of course, basketball season just about to get underway. Got basketball covered for you here on Play On Sports.
Yeah, a lot of championships coming up, too. Soccer coming along the way.
Football a little bit later.
So plenty to choose from. If you check the PlayOnSports.com website or look under YouTube on PlayOnSports.com. So still a delay. Lane still down on the ground.
Yeah, Demario Lane, 5'10" junior, 180 pounds, as they're going to get him up.
And it looks like he'll be helped off the field here. So he has his arm around 2 trainers and favoring that ankle.
He's not putting any weight whatsoever on that left ankle.
Yeah, he's left it alone as they walk him off the field. So that'll bring us back to the action. We reset you here. 6:16 left to play in the second quarter. All knotted up at 6. A second down and 5 coming up for Castro Valley from the Berkeley 31-yard line.
And that injury, if it is game-ending, which it looks like it is, completely changes the complexion of this game because Demario Lane was a touchdown waiting to happen.
Yeah, he was very heavily involved in the offense. Had the first score for Castro Valley. Now they get set here. Second down at 5 from under center. Huerta hands it off up the middle. And it was the back Alfaro.
And number 52, Joseph Ekholm, the offensive line for the Trojans, his helmet came off, so he has to jog off the field and take a down off.
The spot basically shows no gain on the play. Maybe a half a yard.
Well, and right here, the Trojans are in 4-down territory in high school because generally high school teams do not have place kickers that can kick 40, 45-yard field goals.
Set on 3rd and 5. Huerta from under center hands it off to Patrick Cheek, working behind left guard, pushing forward. He's very close to that first down marker when he goes down.
And it looks like they're going to give it to him.
And they do. First down for Castro Valley, so they move the chains. as they got it up to the Berkeley 25-yard line.
And it would be huge for Castro Valley to get a score up on the board here, even with the Lane injury, get back on top of the Yellow Jackets.
They get set here 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line of Berkeley. Huerta set from under center, fakes a handoff to Cheek, and instead gives it to the right side to Taylor. Following his blockers, getting up across the 20-yard line, and Taylor, right near the 15, is involved in a big pile.
Yeah, Robert Taylor started that play on the outside and came right around on the wheel and able to gain some nice yardage there on 1st down for Castro Valley. They've got 2nd and short. Lots and lots of options here for the Trojan offense.
Yes, that is a 2nd and 2. Ball spotted at the 17-yard line of Berkeley. Clock moving under 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here in the first half. They get it set. Huerta from under center. Taking the snap, hands off to Alfaro, who is a man in motion, gets away from one man with a stiff arm. Now joking back towards the left. Again, kind of using the stiff arm as he crossed the line of scrimmage. And he got across, but he actually ended up still a bit shy of the 1st down marker.
Yeah, Jakari Simpson was the man on the receiving end of that 2nd stiff arm. But Simpson stayed with the play and forced Alfaro out of bounds before he got to the 1st down marker. So now it's 3rd and inches.
Ball spotted at the Berkeley 16-yard line. Under 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the first half. Huerta taking the snap, and he's just going to take a keeper back up the middle. Pushes forward. He broke through a pile into the end zone for the score.
Unbelievable. Huerta just disappeared there for a good 10, 12 yards in the pile and then emerged for the touchdown.
A surprising play, yeah. Huerta went in there, and I thought he was going to be down for a moment as he just got right in the middle of it. And as he said, he suddenly just popped out the other end. So 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here in the first half, and a 12-6 score.
Well, and Luke Huerta, a very small guy, 5'9", 170.
It's Kevin Galvin getting set to kick the extra point. Whistles come in before this kick, which was right down the middle, but this one won't count.
I think the entire offensive line moved there.
As a false start, will knock him back.
So Huerta, a small guy in stature, but apparently couldn't be taken down by guys nearly twice his size.
So now they mark it back. 5 more yards, and Galvin set to kick the extra point again. Here's a snap, hold is down, under pressure. Galvin's kick is up, and this one is good. 13-6, Castro Valley takes the lead with 3:20 remaining here in the first half.
Huge, huge score there for the Trojans. And now it's up to the defense to make this lead stand into the halftime locker room, because remember, Berkeley is going to receive to start the second half. So got to keep that in mind.
So we get set here. Castro Valley kick it off. Berkeley, still good position for them to start here. They have 3 minutes and 20 seconds, 2 remaining timeouts here. As we wait for Castro Valley to get set to kick this one away. Berkeley now cheating their return man up as they stand on their own 25-yard line. And another short pooch kick and fair caught right at the zone 33-yard line was the Berkeley receiver.
Castro Valley has got to just be scared out of their shoes of the return game for the Yellow Jackets, because they're handing Berkeley great field position every time they kick the football off.
As set from their own 34-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Berkeley. So Yellow Jackets break from the huddle. They go 4 wide out set. Lamont Smith will be set from under center. Malik cross the back is dropping back as Smith, quickly firing to his left. And ball is bobbled by Michael Lazarus. He does make the catch and falls down at the 41-yard line.
You know, Lazarus gets up and he's mad at himself because that bobble caused him to lose some yards after the catch. Because if he catches that ball cleanly, he has a chance to make a couple Trojans miss. But he had to focus on just corralling the football.
Now set from their own 41-yard line. Again, 4 wide out set. Ball spot on the left hash mark as Lamont set from under center. Chopping back to pass, quickly firing towards his right now. Ball is reeled in on the right side, and his receiver's hit and brought down. And that was Yambo Teague with the reception. Short gain on the play.
First time Teague has been targeted in the first half, and he tried a spin move there to gain more yards, but in actuality, he lost yards as a result.
I actually had to correct myself. It was a loss of about half a yard on the play, setting up 3rd down and 4 here. Clock moving under 2.5 minutes left to play. Berkeley needing to convert to keep this drive alive. Set with 4 wideouts. Smith from under center dropping back, quickly fires to his right again. That ball is caught on the right sideline by his wide receiver Garcia, but it was only a gain of 2 yards on the play.
Garcia was at the 1st down marker, but the throw from Smith was just a bit short, so Garcia had to come back to the football, and as a result, we're going to have a 4th down play here, and early indications are that the Yellow Jackets are going to go for it.
Yeah, 4th and 2, it appears, is what they'll be set with. Ball spotted at the 42-yard line. Need to get across the 44 for a 1st down.
And now they bring the punt unit out.
So late substitution here. Clock moving under 1:36. Let's play here in the first half. Berkeley cheating up, and now the flag comes in for the delay of game.
Yeah, Berkeley took a long time to make that decision to punt the ball away. And I'm not exactly sure why. And sometimes you bring the offensive unit up to try and draw the opposition off sides, but they didn't try that. It was just a late substitution.
Now they get set to punt it away. Boyden getting the kickoff. It's a bad one. Going toward the right sideline, and it goes out of bounds right around the Castro Valley 42-yard line. And now they're going to march it up to the 45.
Yeah, Sam Boyden just caught that kick off the side of his foot. Didn't go very far at all. And Castro Valley with a huge opportunity here. Put more points on the board. 19 seconds left, and they do have timeouts remaining.
So an opportunity here with this short field. Trojans come out from the huddle, sending 2 receivers to the bottom of the formation, 1 in tied up top. Now they send Taylor in motion from the top. He takes a handoff. Following his blockers, nothing doing. He jukes back inside and fights forward, and they are going to get him just about a yard shy of the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, right there, Taylor committing the cardinal sin of running east-west instead of north-south. And he gets caught for the 1-yard loss.
So clock moving under a minute left to play here in the first half. See if Castro Valley is content to go to the locker room with a lead, or if they want to take one more shot here. 2 receivers at the bottom of the formation. Split backs are behind. Huertas, he takes a snap from under center, fakes his handoff, and gives a delayed handoff. And then the man who took the handoff slipped, as it was Taylor. And Taylor slipped right around about a yard shy of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and Robert Taylor there tried to go up the middle and stop, and both feet just shot out right from under him as it looks like Berkeley's going to take a timeout.
Yeah, their second timeout. 28 seconds remain here in the first half. A 3rd down and 11 upcoming with Castro Valley leading 13-6.
It looked like the Trojans were going to be content to just run the rest of the clock out and go into the halftime locker room with a touchdown lead. But the Yellow Jackets want at least a chance for Akil Bordelon to receive a punt and possibly turn it into a big play.
Yeah, Bordelon has had a big return. That set Berkeley up a good field position. So they certainly would like to see him take another shot. Berkeley has one timeout remaining after this, so the stop here sets him up for that return. Castro Valley coming out from their huddle. 3rd and 13 coming up from their own 42-yard line.
And if this is a run here for Castro Valley, the Yellow Jackets are going to call an immediate timeout, their final one of the half.
Huerta sends 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation. Set from under center, he takes a snap, dropping back to pass, feeling pressure, gets away from one man. Now he's going to scramble with it, going towards the left side, being pulled by his waist. He's finally back to the original line of scrimmage before he's brought down, and Berkeley burns their final timeout with 20 seconds remaining.
So I'm not just too sure there if it was a designed run for Huerta or not, but Berkeley gets what they want, and that is another chance with the football here in the first half.
Yeah, Akil Bordelon, their weapon, going to want to try to get a shot here. And we'll see if Kevin Galvin has an opportunity to kick this one away from Bordelon.
And if you're Castro Valley here, I think you almost kick it out of bounds before you kick it to Akil Bordelon.
Yeah, it's a situation you want to avoid any return from him. So Berkeley having trouble with the substitutions. Trying to quickly get their men off field, and they do. Galvin set from his own 31-yard line to punt it away. Bordelon backing up behind his own 30 to return. Here we go. Galvin, good protection. He gets this one out. Bordelon going to have a chance from his own 25. Bobbles it. Now picks it up late. And he spins back around, going towards his left. Running backwards still. Now jukes a man. Going back towards his left. Wrapped up by his own man. Still breaks another tackle. Now juking back inside. And finally brought down from behind as time expires in the first half.
Akil Bordelon needed to break one more tackle before that was a highlight reel punt return.
And that brings us to the end of the first half play, with the Castro Valley Trojans leading the Berkeley High Yellow Jackets by a score of 13-6. We'll be back in a few moments with the PlayOnSports.com halftime show. Don't go anywhere. It's Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. You're watching PlayOnSports.com's presentation of Friday Night Football live from Berkeley, California. I'm Joe Lawhick with Ben Taylor, where the Castro Valley Trojans are leading the Berkeley Yellow Jackets 13-6 as we are closing down the last few minutes of halftime here. And we talk about this game we've seen so far. Bit of back and forth. Obviously, Castro Valley with a 7-point lead, but really haven't seen too much balance swing towards one team so far.
No, certainly not. And you look here in the second half for the Yellow Jackets to come out fired up. Saw them come sprinting out of their locker room here, ripped the sign that was out in front of them. So they're fired up. They certainly don't want to lose on senior night. And, you know, Berkeley had opportunities in that first half. They just couldn't put them in the end zone except for once. And Castro Valley, well, they've got a 7-point lead, but they also lost one of their major talents, Demario Lane, who during halftime was taken off in a car, I would assume, to a local hospital. Again, not putting any weight on his left leg. So the Castro Valley Trojans are going to have to work around that injury if they're to hold on for the victory here in Berkeley tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who steps up for the Trojans here with Lane out. They were going to him quite a bit on handoffs, little swing passes, screens to get him going, and certainly someone they leaned heavily on in their offense. So see who can pick up the slack for them there in the beginning of this second half here as the Trojans will try to extend their 7-point lead. For Berkeley, it's been an issue with the turnover that caused the first score of the game for Castro Valley, and penalties has certainly been a big issue for this offense so far.
Yeah, Berkeley was inside the red zone, and they were, in fact, inside the 10-yard line, had a couple of penalties that pushed them back, and then they had a field goal try. They had to attempt a field goal from the 10-yard line that ended up being pulled wide left, and they ended up getting no points after starting at about the Castro Valley 40-yard line. So, like I said at the top of this halftime show, Berkeley had opportunities in the first half to put up more points than they did. Who is going to show up for them in the second half might determine if the Yellow Jackets are able to come back and win this game.
Yeah, certainly, as Berkeley's defense has been reliable for them, only giving up those 13 points there in the first half and getting some stops when they needed to. Now we'll have to respond again as Berkeley set to kick it off from our right to our left.
It has gotten measurably colder here in the past 15-20 minutes between the end of the first half here and the start of the second half. Not sure if that's going to play a huge role in this game, but, you know, weather does impact play on the field. We saw it a couple times in the first half.
Now Boyden said he's going to kick it off, and a short, high one right around the 20-yard line is where it bounces and is picked up by Robert Taylor as he gets from his own 10 across 15, breaks a few tacklers before he's hit hard at the 20-yard line and brought down to start this drive.
Clearly there, the Yellow Jackets wanted the Trojans to pick up the football. As we saw in the first half, Sam Boyden has the leg to kick it out of the end zone. So they're making the Trojans field the football near their close sideline. Taylor nearly broke it for a big gain, but only a 5-yard gain after picking up the football, and they start at the 20.
Set with 1st and 10, ball spotted on the left hash mark. From under center, Huerta faking the handoff to Taylor. Instead gives it to Patrick Cheek. He turns ahead for 2 yards behind left guard before he's brought down.
And again, we saw this in the first half from Castro Valley. Very content to run the football on 1st and 2nd down. They're not going to try anything too crazy, but it worked for them in the first half. They got a 7-point lead.
And we apologize to those of you watching live. We did have a technical issue, so we will be doing radio style. You can watch this game on YouTube where video will accompany the audio. Gets set here with 2nd down and 8 coming up. Huerta handing off towards the left side and quickly squirting through the offensive line was Patrick Cheek as he dove ahead for about a 6-yard gain.
And this is just what the Trojans do. Couple of yards here, 5 or 6 yards there, and it's 3rd and short. It's just a matter of whether or not they can execute on 3rd down. This is how they're going to prolong drives and make this nurse this 7-point lead.
Set with a 3rd down and 3. Huerta from under center with 3 backs behind him. He gives it to Patrick Cheek, fighting up ahead behind his blockers as he got just enough for the 1st down.
And Cheek looked like he was really going to struggle to get even 1 yard there on the 3rd and 2, but he kept those legs going and found his couple of yards that he needed for the first. And Castro Valley not going to be in any hurry here in the second half.
As clock moving towards 10.5 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. Castro Valley set 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line. Huerta from under center has split backs behind him. Sends Alfaro in motion. Now they hand it off his Cheek again, working behind left guard, working his way ahead across the 35-yard line and brought down at the 36.
You know, and Patrick Cheek is going to have to pick up the slack for DeMario Lane, at least in the backfield. The first 3 plays of this game for Castro Valley all went to Cheek. It wasn't until the second possession that we saw DeMario Lane and his skills. So Cheek can handle the workload. It's just a matter of making that workload positive for the Trojans.
Second down and 6 from their own 35 as they hand it off and scored it quickly through the middle was Taylor up ahead for the first down as he was brought down at his own 43-yard line. So speed of Robert Taylor making up for the loss of DeMario Lane, at least to start this first drive of the second half.
Yeah, I'd expect to see the wide receiving core for Castro Valley to get into the running attack a lot more with the injury to Lane.
Huerta set here on 1st and 10, taking the snap, he hands it off his Cheek, going through the left side and across the 45 where he's finally brought down.
And Berkeley here, they've already got defensive linemen with hands on hips. That's not a good sign early in the second half.
So with a second down and 7 from their own 45, clock moving under 8 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Huerta set under center with split backs behind him, taking the snap. He hands it off to Taylor again, following his blockers, cuts back into the middle. And Taylor just with a quick 6-yard gain.
You know, and Robert Taylor out there, his size and the way he moves reminds me of somebody that the people in Berkeley, I'm sure, are well aware of, Deshaun Jackson. Very similar body type.
So we see a 3rd and 6 upcoming from their own 47-yard line. Huerta from under center has 3 backs behind him. Hands off to Taylor again, squirting through the middle. Flag comes in on the play. Taylor got up to the 45-yard line of Berkeley, but we'll see what the penalty's about.
Flag is in the area of holding.
And they do call the hold against Castro Valley, so negates the first down.
You know,
and march back.
Pardon me, you know, it's really too bad because that was a very nice run from Taylor, just squirting right up the middle, finding a narrow lane of running room to get the first down. But now it'll be 2nd and long, and this is not how the Castro Valley offense is productive. They don't do these long down situations.
So 3rd down and 13 coming up for Castro Valley, set from their own 39-yard line. Huerta set from under center. Taking the snap, faking the handoff to Taylor, who was in motion. Now firing over the middle and dropped by Alfaro. The pass that would have been a first down.
There was actually Trevor Trammell, I believe, coming across the middle of the tight end who dropped it. Number 28. And that was right in Trammell's breadbasket. He couldn't reel it in.
4th down and 13 now. And see a punt coming up here. So see if Akil Bordelon has an opportunity for a big return here. Here's a snap. Galvin gets off a good kick. Bordelon from his own 26-yard line will be able to return. Coming across the 30. Now jukes back towards the right sideline. And he is hit spinning away from one tackler and finally wrapped up as he crossed the 40-yard line. So Berkeley's first possession of the second half begins with good field position.
With the exception of one possession in this game, the Yellow Jackets have started at their own 40-yard line or better. And the fact that they only have 6 points is a testament to the Castro Valley defense, but also the Yellow Jackets just have got to find some kind of offensive rhythm.
So set from their own 41-yard line. It's a 1st and 10 for Berkeley. I formation behind Lamont Smith from under center as he hands it off. And Doug Stewart, I should say, got across the line of scrimmage, fought ahead for about 2 yards before he was pushed back.
You know, when we mentioned at the top of this broadcast, I think it's worth mentioning these teams are 1 and 2 in their league. They are pretty much fighting for the league championship here tonight. Berkeley, the number 1 team in the West Alameda County Foothill League with a 4-0 league record. Castro Valley just a game behind at 3-1.
Clock under 7 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Single receiver at the top of the formation. I formation behind Lamont Smith. Taking the snap. He's going to fake the handoff. Now rolling out to his right. Smith firing towards the right side. And ball is caught by Xavier Nelson around the 45-yard line in Castro Valley before he goes out of bounds. First down.
And Xavier Nelson, a big target for Lamont Smith. 6'3", 210. And Smith hit Nelson right in the numbers there. That's the biggest play for the Yellow Jackets through the air.
So sets up a 1st down and 10 on the 45-yard line at Castro Valley. Single receiver in I formation for Lamont Smith under center, taking the snap, and he hands it off. Working down the left side was his back, Keel Bordelon, and Bordelon crossed the 40-yard line before being brought down.
And like we saw in the first half, Bordelon used in different spots by this Yellow Jacket offense. And really it would serve Castro Valley well to keep an eye on where he is on the field.
So with after a 5-yard gain, it's 2nd down and 5, 6 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Ball spotted at the Castro Valley 39-yard line. Smith from under center hands it off to Malik Cross, spinning through the line and getting forward. He's a yard shy of the 1st down marker when he finally goes down.
And this becomes a very big 3rd down for both these teams. Inside the 40-yard line are the Berkeley Yellow Jackets, down by 7. Of course, Castro Valley not wanting to allow Berkeley back into this game.
So set with a 3rd down and 1. Lamont Smith from under center. Single receiver again, I formation behind him. He hands it off. And going towards the left side is the back, Hairston, who gets up to the 26-yard line before he's brought down on the left hash mark. And Hairston, slow to get up, and skips back to the huddle. Seems to be okay.
Yeah, he kind of fell awkwardly to the ground, did Hairston there, but it looks like, at least for the moment, he's walked it off, but now he's going to be subbed out.
It's now 1st and 10 for the Berkeley Yellow Jackets, trying to capitalize on this drive. I formation behind Lamont Smith again with a single receiver. Ball spotted at the 27-yard line. Castro Valley is rolling out as Smith, setting his feet. He fires towards the right side. Through traffic, it's incomplete, and a flag comes in at the end as he's trying to connect with Xavier Nelson, and we'll see if pass interference gives him a 1st down.
Yeah, Xavier Nelson there was clearly interfered with. And I'm not sure it was intentional by the defense. It looks like feet just got tangled. But Nelson went tumbling to the ground, and whenever somebody of that size hits the turf, it's hard for the men in stripes to miss, and that's why you see the flag.
So clock stop for the moment with 4:54 remaining here in the third quarter. Yellow Jackets trailing by 7, but the benefit of the penalty will give them great field position now. As they'll put them in the red zone. Ball be spotted at the 13-yard line. You
know, and even without the pass interference, I'm not sure Nelson catches that football. It was slightly underthrown by Smith, but now a golden opportunity for Berkeley to tie this game up.
Set in 1st and 10, Smith under center. Again with the I formation and a single receiver. Taking the snap, they hand it off. It's Bordelon again trying to work towards the middle, met by a sea of defenders and quickly brought down. Bordelon with a short gain on the play.
There was a flag that was thrown in.
And a penalty going against the Yellow Jackets. As a hold went against Berkeley. And they march it back. And spot it just inside the 20-yard line. So again, penalties an issue for Berkeley. Now have about 16 yards to go here. Just try to get the first down around the 4-yard line. Bit of confusion for Berkeley. They finally get set. Trips to the top of the formation. Shotgun for Lamont Smith. Taking the snap, rolling out to his right. Feeling pressure, quickly arcs it over, and bobbled and finally caught by his receiver. It's Travis Dennis. Dennis across the line of scrimmage before he's finally brought down. And a short gain on the play.
And good gang tackling there by Castro Valley.
So a 2nd down and long coming up here. It's a 2nd and 14. Clock under 3 minutes and 40 seconds now remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 4 wide receivers set for Lamont Smith. Sending a man in motion. It's Dennis from the top of the formation to the bottom. From under center, it's a pitch to the left side as Bordelon following his blockers. Inside the 15, wrapped up around the waist and finally brought down just shy of the 10-yard line.
Boy, every time Akil Bordelon touches the football, I think Castro Valley holds their collective breath because, he gets that football in his hands and you can tell he's sniffing the big play every time.
Now they set at the 11-yard line. 3rd down and 7 here. 3 receivers at the top of the formation. Smith from under center, rolling to his right. Looking downfield, now he fires towards the right corner. Ball is caught and knocked out of bounds was his wide receiver. And seeing they spot him very close to the 1st down marker, and it might have been enough.
I believe, though, the Yellow Jackets are going to get called for a hold.
Oh, and penalty flag, right at the 11-yard line, right around the line of scrimmage.
It wasn't a big hold, but I do believe that's what the call is going to be.
And it is. Holding against the Yellow Jackets. Again, a penalty, choking out the life of a drive for them.
And the difficult thing about that penalty is the hold had no impact whatsoever on the play. Lamont Smith had rolled out to his right. The hold occurred on the left side of the offensive line. So that one really hurts for Berkeley as they would have had a 1st and goal.
They march it back. It'll be a 3rd down and 16. Clock stopped at 2:39 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 3 receivers at the top of the formation. Now they send a man in motion. It's crossed to the left. Empty backfield is Smith dropping back to pass. Feeling pressure going to his left. And he's tripped up from behind and goes down right around the 24-yard line. A loss on the play.
What a great tackle by Trevor Trammell. Coming around from behind Lamont Smith as Castro Valley brought the blitz.
But we will see Boyden set, and he will be attempting a field goal.
In the first half, he missed an extra point wide left. He missed a field goal wide left as well.
Here's a snap. The kick is up by Boyden. It's long enough, and it's good.
Wow. What a kick.
And Boyden drills it and makes it a 4-point game with a minute 50 remaining here in the third quarter.
That was a 42-yard field goal.
Quite a kick for Boyden and really beneficial for his team there.
He's going to be kicking for somebody on Saturdays with that kind of leg.
So now we see how Berkeley chooses to attack this year. They had a short kick last time. Boyden definitely has a leg to put it in the end zone, as he's shown. Minute 50 remains here in the third quarter as Boyden kicking off from our right to our left. It's a deep one going back into the end zone. And automatic touchback as Taylor caught it deep.
Yeah, no doubt there by Boyden. Clearly just wanting to put Castro Valley at the 20 and see if the Yellow Jacket defense can come up with another stop. Give Berkeley a chance to inch a little closer, 13-9. It's a 4-point game.
So they get set 1st and 10 from their own 20 to the Trojans. Split backs behind Huerta with a single receiver at the bottom of the formation. Rolling out, feeling pressure. Huerta fires. It's complete to Ben Atkinson, the tight end at the 30, crossing the 35 down the right sideline before he's knocked out of bounds right around the 40.
Oh, a nice 20-yard pass play there on first down for Castro Valley. I think that's the first time in this game that Castro Valley is thrown on first down.
And it pays off there with that 20-yard gain, as you said, so they get set 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. With a 4-point lead, Castro Valley trying to put together a drive and extend that. Huerta set from under center, hands off to Patrick Cheek, working through the middle. Evaded one tackler before he was brought down. 2-yard gain on the play.
You know, and on that last play, you could tell that Berkeley was set up to defend the run, and Atkinson was just wide open on the near sideline. Just a smart play call by the Trojan coaching staff. But now they go back to their usual run on first down. Wouldn't be surprised to see another run here on second.
As they've had a heavy dose of Patrick Cheek. Robert Taylor been in the mix in the second half of the injury to Demario Lane. Dropping back here on 2nd down and 8. Quick fire out to the left side. It's Taylor with the catch, crossing the 45, getting towards the left sideline. And he goes out of bounds right at the 50.
You know, and Robert Taylor gets the first down there, and he stopped right at the 50-yard line. And 2 or 3 Yellow Jackets went flying right by him into the Castro Valley sideline. A couple guys were getting ready to line up Robert Taylor for a hit. And it doesn't look like they've actually given Taylor the first down yet.
Yeah, from the sideline they marked it as a first down on the marker, but the referee stopped and corrected it. And now they do say first down. So after all that exchange, they had it right the first time. So from the 50-yard line, set with the 1st and 10, are the Trojans, leading 13-9 with 55 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Huerta set from under center with split backs behind him, hands it off up the middle to Patrick Cheek, just crosses the 50-yard line.
Not much running room up the middle for Castro Valley at all. They've had their most success when they get outside towards the sidelines.
Set with a 2nd down and a long 9. Huerta from under center, rolling out to the right, gets some protection, hit as he throws, and incomplete as he's trying to connect with Patrick Cheek. Cheek wanted a flag, none thrown.
That was very close to pass interference. The contact on Cheek was almost simultaneous with the ball's arrival.
It's now 3rd down and 10 coming up from the 50-yard line. Two receivers at the bottom of the formation for Huerta with split backs behind him. Handoff goes to Alfaro and just nowhere to go. He is hit instantly. And brought down.
Man on the tackle there was number 11, Marlon Walker. Linebacker came flying in, made the tackle for a very, very big play that the Yellow Jackets needed, and it takes us into the 4th quarter.
Yeah, its time has just expired. 13-9. Castro Valley leads over Berkeley. And 4th down upcoming, so we'll see the punt coming up here. And a chance for Akil Bordelon to do the return.
Here as we start the 4th quarter, I want to remind people to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com post-game show as we'll wrap up all the action from this ball game. That's coming up following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Also, Play On Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at Play On Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
And still waiting for the 4th quarter to start. Berkeley now with the punt return, unless Bordelon breaks something big, needs to have a sustained drive.
And we see quarterback Lamont Smith warming up here on the near sideline, getting greased up for the presumably next offensive possession for the Yellow Jackets. But is this the punt where Akil Bordelon breaks a big one?
Certainly would be a shot in the arm for his team, trailing by 4 as we begin the 4th quarter. Galvin set to kick it from his own 35. Good protection, and he gets off a bad one off the left side of his foot. Goes out of bounds on the sideline, and he did not net very much with that kick.
You know, Galvin wanted to kick that ball to the sideline. You could see it from the minute he received the snap. He was not going to kick it to Bordelon, but I don't think he intended to kick it 20 yards at most.
And they spotted at the 40-yard line right on the right hash mark. Good opportunity here for Berkeley.
It's a one-score game, Joe. Berkeley just needs to find the end zone.
Said with a receiver to the top of the formation. Backs in the eye behind Lamont Smith as he takes a handoff and gives it to Doug Stewart, working towards the outside, diving forward, and a 2-yard gain on the play.
You're right there, Doug Stewart. Again, just going too much east-west. Tried to extend that run too far to the far sideline, and he ended up gaining just a couple yards.
So 2nd down and 8 from their own 42-yard line for the Yellow Jackets. Send a single receiver to the bottom of the formation. From under center, Smith bobbles the snap, fakes a handoff, broken play now. Smith going back towards the left side, gets up to the 45 before he's tripped up at the 46.
Completely broken play there for the Yellow Jackets, but Lamont Smith made a little something, and now it's 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, 3rd down and 4 upcoming. From their own 46-yard line, ball spotted on the left hash mark. And see if Berkeley. Smith set from under center. Garcia, the receiver, at the bottom of the formation. Another bad snap, reeled in, and Bordelon taking the handoff. Spins off a hit, gets across the 50, and gets the first down when he's finally brought down.
Boy, Akil Bordelon using every inch of his 5'8" frame to get the first down, because he was hit about yard and a half, 2 yards short of that first down marker, but he spun free just enough to reach that ball across the 50-yard line.
So set 1st and 10 with 10:05 left to play here in the fourth quarter. Trailing by 4. Smith set from under center, dropping back. Rolling to his right, feeling pressure, fires towards the right sideline, overthrows his intended receiver.
And right there, you got to give credit to the coverage downfield by the Trojan secondary, because a couple players on the Castro Valley defensive line fell down when that ball was snapped. And so Lamont Smith had time to throw, and he rolled out to his right. But the secondary stayed with the offense downfield, and Smith was forced to throw the ball away.
So 2nd and 10 from the 50-yard line. Clock is stopped with 9:53 remaining in the fourth quarter. Two receivers at the top of the formation, one to the bottom. Smith set from under center, now sending another man in motion to the right side. Taking the snap, dropping back, delayed handoff goes to Bordelon. Bordelon hit from behind as he crossed the line of scrimmage, able to pick up 2 yards on the play.
A really nice tackle there by the Trojans, Joseph Eckelm.
Clock moving under 9:45 remaining in the ball game. 3rd down and 9 coming up. So actually a 1-yard gain on that last play as the ball spotted at the Castro Valley 49-yard line. 4 wide out set. Spread evenly for Lamont Smith. Dropping back to pass, looking to his right, firing to the right, and that ball is caught on the right side. It's Yambo Teague, hit hard near the sideline as he's brought down right around the 41.5-yard line.
Decision time, coaching staff. You got 4th and either a short 4 or a long 3, depending on how you want to look at it. You're in Trojan territory. I think you got to go for it.
As Berkeley subbing players in and out. Now gets set to go for it here on 4th down. A crucial play here. 8:43 and counting remaining here in the fourth quarter. I formation behind Lamont Smith. And a whistle comes in. And timeout taken by Castro Valley. The first timeout taken by either side here in the second half. 8:38 remains. 13-9, Castro Valley leading.
And I think a smart timeout there by Castro Valley. It's a very important 4th down play. You're inside of 9 minutes in the fourth quarter. If you stop Berkeley here, you get the ball on downs. Great field position. A chance to possibly put this game away with a touchdown. Better have all your ducks in a row on defense, and the same goes on offense. I mean, Berkeley has got to dial up their best 4-yard play they got in the playbook and see what happens.
So certainly wonder what they can attack with here. As we wait for these two teams to take the field, Castro Valley's defense coming back out.
And the crowd that has traveled from Castro Valley trying to make some noise over on that Trojan sideline, urging the defense to get the stop.
Set here, 4th and 4 from the 42-yard line. Smith set from under center, 4 wideouts. Dropping back, Setting up, he fires towards the right side, overthrows his intended receiver, Xavier Nelson, and the turnover on downs.
Xavier Nelson was not looking for the football. Ball was overthrown. That's clear, but Xavier Nelson wasn't looking for it. That ball could have hit Nelson right in the back, and he would have had no idea until it hit him.
So turnover on downs sets up Castro Valley. First down and 10 from their own 42-yard line with 8:33 remaining in the ball game. Huerta getting set from under center, 3 backs behind him. Taking the snap, he hands it off to Taylor. Taylor going towards the right side, picks up a yard on the play.
And now this is something that's important towards the end of every football game, the number of timeouts that each team has left. We saw Castro Valley just use their first one. Berkeley down by 4. They haven't used one yet. So we tick inside of 8 minutes now in the fourth quarter.
Huerta brings it up to the line. 2 backs in behind him. He gives a quick handoff. It's Patrick Cheek stumbling forward as he fell backwards over the offensive line and got a short gain on the play. 3rd down upcoming.
And on these 4-5-yard runs that Castro Valley has been able to eke out in this game, initial contact is made pretty close to the line of scrimmage. But the Trojan running backs, got to give them credit. They are running strong with the football and keeping the legs moving.
Now 3 backs behind Huerta here on 3rd down and 6 from his own 46-yard line. Dropping back, gives a handoff. It's Taylor working through the middle. Nothing doing as a Berkeley's defense shuts him down again.
Big stop by the Yellow Jackets there as maybe 2 minutes are going to come off the clock on that offensive possession after the turnover on downs. And maybe we see what Akil Bordelon can do here. Or do the Trojans play it real safe and just kick it out of bounds yet again?
They got a bad punt off of the foot of Galvin trying to go for the sideline last time. Only netted him about 10 yards. This time they kick it right towards Bordelon, who can get it, bobble it near his own 20. Finally picks it up. Now coming up the right seam. Hits a man as he crossed the 35-yard line and is brought down shy of the 40. Just excitement in the stands every time Bordelon has a little bit of daylight.
I mean, you can see why. He has got great speed when he gets going. And if the Yellow Jackets had the block set up downfield, Bordelon wouldn't have been taken down. But as it stands, seems like the Yellow Jackets are getting very familiar with their own 40-yard line in this game.
A lot of drives started from right at their 40 or just past it. 6:28 remains in the ball game. Castro Valley with 2 timeouts. Berkeley has 3 as the Yellow Jackets trail the Trojans 13-9. 3 wide receivers set. Smith set under center. Now moves the receiver from the bottom to the top. Taking the snap, they pitch out to the left side. And Xavier Cross working way outside the left. Gets down towards the left sideline. Is able to get a gain before being knocked down. And they say he did not go out of bounds. 3-yard gain on the play.
At some point, Berkeley has got to start going to the air here. And yes, they have 3 timeouts. And there is 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But they're still the team that's trailing. They can't afford to just get 3 yards on every play.
Like I said here, the single wide receiver on 2nd down and 7 from their own 43-yard line. Smith from under center. Handing it off. And it's Cross. And Cross didn't have much doing there. Back to the original line of scrimmage, no gain.
And with that run that resulted in no gain, the Yellow Jackets are forced into a clear passing down. 3rd and 7.
Yeah, Set from their own 43-yard line. Trailing by 4, coming up on 5 minutes remaining here in the ball game. Smith from under center. Takes a snap, fakes a handoff, rolling out to his right. Looking downfield, he fires towards the right sideline. Ball is tipped, and it's reeled in for a catch. Malik Cross making the catch just inside the 30-yard line for a first down.
Absolutely incredible as Weiss Ibrahimi tipped the ball for Castro Valley as he was jumping up to try and intercept it. But what he actually did was keep the play alive for the Trojans. And now they're inside the Trojan 30-yard line.
Smith set for first and 10 at the 29 from under center. Single wide receiver at the top of the formation. Gives a handoff. It's Stewart juking back towards his left. He has a first down when he finally goes down. 11-yard gain on the play.
And we said at halftime that neither team had really, we felt, had major momentum in this game. But with that play and the home crowd now getting into it, it feels like Berkeley has snagged a little bit of that big M here as we approach 4.5 minutes left in the game.
Set from the 19, first and 10. Clock moving towards 4.5 minutes left to play. Smith set from under center. Single receiver to the top of the formation. He hands it off. And going nowhere was Stewart on the handoff. Loss of 1 on the play as he tried to go to the left side.
And if you're the Yellow Jackets, you can't be content here to just kind of sit on good field position. You need to get into the end zone. A field goal does you no good. A field goal gets you within 1.
As we're under 3:53 left to play here in the fourth quarter. And a timeout is taken now by Berkeley. It's 3:49 left to play in the fourth quarter, and the Yellow Jackets going to talk it over here as they face a 2nd and 12.
Second and 12 for the Yellow Jackets. And, I mean, they're obviously in 4-down territory, so they don't need to get a huge chunk of yards here on the second down play because they do have 3 downs to play with to get to the 9-yard line. But they do have to have some sense of urgency. Now just 2 timeouts left after they used that one. And if you're Castro Valley, defense has got to bow its back.
So they get set, 2nd and 12. The 21-yard line, 3:49 remaining on the clock with the 4-point deficit. Lamont Smith set from under center. Dropping back, fakes a handoff, rolling out to his right. Looking downfield, fires to the right. It's complete. And going out of bounds was Hiram Hairston, right shy of the 10-yard line.
I like that play call. Very simple play. Doesn't get you the first down, but like I said, you don't need it there. You've now set up 3rd and short, and if you need it, a likely 4th and short.
This clock moving under 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the ball game. Berkeley needs to avoid the penalties that have plagued them on these drives. They get set with the I formation. Smith set from under center. Taking the snap, they hand it off up the middle. And Harrison has enough for the first down as he pushed his way up through inside the 5-yard line.
And now with Berkeley inside the 5-yard line and the clock going to tick inside of 3 once they place it down. If you're Castro Valley, you got to start thinking about using your timeouts to preserve some time for your offense to get back out there if Berkeley does score.
Berkeley set with a single wide receiver here on 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. I formation behind Smith. Quick handoff going. Hairston across the line of scrimmage, but not a lot doing. Maybe a yard altogether.
And that middle really hasn't been open all game. Castro Valley doing a very nice job of pinching off the run up the middle.
Clock moving towards 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Second down and goal. Ball spotted right around the 4-yard line. Smith from under center hands it off. Is back working towards the goal line. And stopped short was the halfback, Doug Stewart. Now clock moves under 2 minutes left to play.
And this is what you expect a league championship type game to come down to. Top two teams in the league going at it right here. Berkeley on senior night down by 4 inside of 2 minutes.
Clock moving under 1:40 left to play the ball game. Third down and goal from the 1.
Berkeley's got to get going here. They're going to get very close to a delay of game penalty.
And yeah, it was finally realized as Berkeley's head coach Fred Sims was screaming towards the side judge and jumping up and down. Finally got the timeout signaled.
Don't get a penalty, coach. Come on, crowd, get up.
And a very smart timeout there. I mean, Berkeley probably didn't want to stop the clock, but they'd rather stop the clock at 1:22 and be on the 2 than have a delay of game penalty and be at the 7 on 3rd and goal.
And you're in a situation where really, if you score, your timeouts no longer matter.
Right.
You want to get in the end zone, so not getting anything out, they avoid the penalty. They do get a little bit more time to talk this over. Coming out of their last timeout, they were able to get a good play.
And I think, go ahead, Joe.
Now just try to see if they do have another play in their playbook to capitalize on this drive.
Well, I think Berkeley really has, they have 2 plays to get into the end zone, and one of them, I wouldn't be at all surprised if it's a play-action pass. And if there was a time to try the play-action, it would be here on 3rd down.
Yeah, Smith can move, so it's a good call on a rollout. He could analyze the defense, try to take the shot, or see he could take it in himself. So plenty of options with that type of play. They get set with the formation, a single receiver. Smith takes a snap, hands it off. It's Doug Stewart diving forward towards the end zone, waiting for the signal from the referee. And they signal a touchdown. Doug Stewart, a 1-yard score, and Berkeley has their first lead of the ball game.
Wow, we had to wait a while for the signal from the side judge who was looking around, and it seemed like he was waiting for somebody else to single touchdown before he did it. But this extra point is really big here, Joe. It's a 15-13 game. The extra point makes it 3 points, so a field goal ties it. If the Trojans are able to come back and get that kind of field position.
Here's a snap, hold is down, kick is up. It's no good. Low, wide right.
And now the Yellow Jackets have to hold their breath. That kick was blocked partially at the line. I'm not exactly sure who got their big paw up on it. But now it's a 2-point game, and we haven't seen the kicking game, or at least the true kicking game, I believe, from Castro Valley. I don't think they have quite the leg of a Sam Boyden, but Castro Valley really can play to get to about the 20 or inside and then try to get a field goal. Now, of course, there's only 1 minute and 12 seconds left, so that's much easier said than done. And Berkeley's defense, they forced a 3-and-out last time. That's what the Yellow Jackets fan base and sideline are hoping for yet again.
And you talk about the special teams play, and here's where Boyden comes in crucial. He's kicked the ball into the end zone for a touchback, seemingly at will. Needs to do so again to pin Castro Valley back at their own 20. Minute 12 remains in a 15-13 game as Berkeley just took their first lead of the contest. Boyden set to kick it away. It's a high, deep one, drifting back. This one might be returnable. And, just stepping into the end zone was Taylor.
And Sam Boyden, I think, was trying to kick that ball inside the 5 and make the Trojans try and bring it out and force Castro Valley to earn that 20-yard line. He nearly did it. It was just a couple yards too deep.
You think if Taylor had realized where he was, he might have stopped and tried to jump and catch that ball. As it looks like he stepped back thinking he had a little bit of room. Huerta here on first down, rolling out to his right, looking to pass. Pump fakes, now fires, and that ball's tipped, incomplete. Minute 6 remains.
Patrick Cheek, the intended receiver there, and he tried to catch that ball one-handed with his left hand. Couldn't quite reel it in.
Second down and 10. Trailing by 2 are the Trojans. They bring it up to the line. Huerta from under center, dropping back, looking towards his left, fires to the left side. Ball is caught by Taylor at the 30-yard line. He's knocked out of bounds. And they spot him very close to that first down marker. And they say he did good enough for the first down.
Again, Castro Valley with 2 timeouts left. He got 60 seconds to work with.
They start the clock. Under a minute left to play now. Huerta taking the snap, rolling out to his right. Looking downfield as he feels pressure. Fires towards the right side, and he throws it out of bounds on the right sideline.
Boy, what a heads-up play there by the senior quarterback, Luke Huerta, who felt the pressure from behind by Michael Lazarus of the Yellow Jackets. If Huerta doesn't get rid of that football when he does, Lazarus levels him for a major loss, and he's inbound, so the clock keeps going. As it stands, it's 2nd and 10. The clock's sitting at 51.
Yeah. A good play. Sometimes a high school quarterback won't remember. Just keep their head in the game in that. So good play by Huerta. Now he hands it off of the middle. Patrick Cheek has a seam across the 40. Has a first down as he knocked out the 45. Gutsy play call there, but it pays off. Clock stopped with 45 seconds while they move the chains. But Castro Valley not really capitalizing on that there. Now they quickly get up to the line. Clock moving, under 45 seconds remaining. Huerta from under center, dropping back, looking to his left. Fires, and that ball is dropped by Taylor, incomplete on the sidelines.
And I'm not sure Taylor was actually the intended receiver there. The ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. And the pass, I believe, was originally intended for Luke Morrow, but when it was tipped, it was slowed down, and Taylor ended up cutting across. Just couldn't corral it.
Clock stopped with 37 seconds remaining here. 2nd down and 10 from their own 45-yard line. The Trojans trailing by 2 as they send 3 receivers to the top of the formation and move her. It's Hayden Atkinson down the bottom of the formation. Huerta dropping back. Looking downfield, hit as he throws. It's high, it's up for grabs. Ball is tipped, incomplete. Taylor falling towards the ground, had a chance at it, but couldn't reel it in.
Boy, Robert Taylor went up against 3 Yellow Jackets there on the jump ball, and he nearly came down with it. All 4 guys around the football went up for it at once, and it was tipped. And Taylor, as he was falling to the ground, tried to catch it over the shoulder, and he just couldn't quite do it.
Now 31 seconds remain here for the Trojans. 3rd down and 10 from their own 45-yard line. They still have 2 timeouts remaining. 3 receivers set to the top of the formation, 1 towards the bottom. Dropping back is Huerta. And a delayed handoff goes to Patrick Cheek. He's hit in the backfield and brought down for a loss, and now they have to burn a timeout.
Castro Valley right there, I think, tried to outsmart the Yellow Jackets, but in the end, overthought themselves. And that was just a simple inside handoff. And Berkeley, as they have all game, wrapped up Patrick Cheek. And now it's 4th and long.
Yeah, surprising play call there when you need yardage, and Cheek has not got it done. I understand the thinking there, trying to take the defense by surprise and exploit any openings, but that was sniffed out immediately by the Yellow Jackets.
Well, and that actually worked earlier on this drive. They did get a large run from Robert Taylor right up the middle that I think did catch Berkeley by surprise, but you do it once, and the defense is going to learn.
Well, they lost 5 seconds on the play. They also lost the timeout. So it's 4th down now, 25 seconds remaining. Huerta from under center, dropping back, has good protection, firing towards his right, and this ball is caught. And it is just enough for a first down as it was reeled in by Luke Morrow.
And Luke Morrow knew exactly where that first down marker was. Very smart route running there by the Trojan receiver.
They start the clock with 17 seconds remaining. Huerta from under center, quickly dropping back, feeling the pressure. He's hit as he throws. He's able to get it to Taylor. Taylor working down the left sideline. He gets out of bounds inside the 30. Nine seconds remain on the clock.
And to get into field goal range, again, we haven't seen the field goal kicking unit for Castro Valley in this game, so I'm taking a guess here, but I would imagine Castro Valley needs 10 more yards to give it a shot.
Yeah, they want to make it as easy as they can for their kicker, Kevin Galvin. They have 1 timeout remaining, 9 seconds on the clock, trailing by 2. So we'll see if they take a shot or they just try to get the yardage. From under center, Huerta, they're going to hand it off to Cheek. Cheek has a seam up the middle, working forward, and he's brought down right at the 15-yard line, and they burn their final timeout with 4 seconds remaining.
So here we go. Kick is going to be from right in the center of the field.
And plenty of time for Kevin Gavlin to think about this. You remember, Castro Valley does have a timeout remaining. Or excuse me, Berkeley has a timeout remaining, I should say, so they could try to ice him here.
Yes, they certainly could. And Galvin, as we can remember, missed an extra point in the first half on the Trojans' first touchdown. But the game is on the foot of the 5'7" sophomore for Castro Valley.
Getting set to kick. The biggest play of the game right here. Here's a snap. Hold is down. Kick is up and it's blocked. Blocked. Berkeley picks it up. They're going to bring it back the other way. Finally brought down and the time expires.
What an ending.
And congratulations to the Berkeley Yellow Jackets. League champs in the most dramatic fashion possible. 15-13 your final score. And it came down to the final field goal attempt blocked by the Berkeley Yellow Jackets.
And the Yellow Jackets celebrating after the blocked field goal. A few of them went over and started taunting the Castro Valley sideline. And the Berkeley coaching staff sprinted over there and brought them over. But that's an aside. Berkeley with a huge come-from-behind win here at home on senior night. They're league champions. After an 0-4 start to the year, they're now 5-0 in league. Very impressive.
And they'll move on to the playoffs. So, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to stay tuned to the PlayOnSports.com postgame show. We'll wrap up all the action for you, and we will name our player of the game. That's coming up in just a few moments. Once again, the Berkeley Yellow Jackets have defeated the Castro Valley Trojans 15-13 on Friday Night Football on PlayOn Sports, your destination for high school sports.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the PlayOn School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Back on the PlayOnSports.com post-game show, Joe Lahiff along with Ben Taylor and Ben. Really a back-and-forth game, came down to the wire, but a big win for the champs, the Berkeley Yellow Jackets.
A huge win here at home, as you mentioned, now league champs. And, what can you say? It was a very tight game throughout. Neither team really seemed to take control. And, boy, Berkeley just had that long, prolonged drive at the end, and Doug Stewart dove across for what proved to be the game-winning touchdown.
And, then the big blocked field goal just came down to the wire. It's such an exciting game. You're right about Berkeley. They just never seemed to really string together that drive until the very end. They finally just put it together, had that long, sustained drive, as you mentioned, capped off by the man we're going to name our player of the game, Doug Stewart.
Yeah, Doug Stewart getting that game-winning touchdown, and, he was just all over the place running the football. He was the big back, it seemed, whenever the Yellow Jackets needed a big play. He was the guy they turned to, and, neither team really had a big play in this game. It was a lot of just chipping the ball down the field, and, that shows in a 15-13 win. And again, Berkeley sticks to their motto of not scoring more than 17 points in a game, but somehow that's good enough to win the league. And at 5-0, it's hard to argue that they're not the champions.
And a credit to Berkeley's defense for being able to wrap that up and hold Castro Valley to only 13 points. That is going to wrap it up for us here on PlayOnSports.com. For Ben Taylor, our producer, Zach Farmer, our videographer, Vince Huergas, and I'm Joe Lahiff signing off here on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.